As feminists rage against women who are making choices they don't like, they're finally showing their true selves. They're finally letting the mask slip. In their rage about what women's studies call choice feminism, they finally admit it. It's not about freedom. It was never about choice. It was always about dismantling the system. And it's so refreshing.
The patriarchy thrives when we mistake personal preference for political progress. Choice feminism tells us that, like pole dancing, getting Botox, being a trad wife, or quitting your job to be a stay-at-home wife are all equally feminist, so long as the woman is choosing it herself. But the problem isn't the choice. The problem is the context, and how the context of these choices often go unexamined or unquestioned. Like, is it really empowering if the system is only giving you like one of two doors to walk through? Is that really a choice? And I think the consequence of that setup is that choice feminism keeps us focused on individual freedom while this system stays rigged, while the boot stays on our neck. It sort of says like, you do you, while quietly reinforcing inequality. It silences critique by saying, don't judge her choices, even if those choices uphold misogyny, even if those choices uphold white supremacy, even if those choices uphold economic injustice. And it divides us.
This is so ridiculous. She's talking about a patriarchal system within which, if you make the wrong choice, it proves that the patriarchy is oppressing you. But if you somehow make the right choice, the one that they like, that means you're free. Then that's your free choice. Her worry is that by allowing choice feminism, you're not dismantling the system fast enough or at all. And that is unacceptable. That women are making their own choices and they turn out to be the wrong choices. Just like Simone de Beauvoir predicted. I'm just so giddy that they're finally revealing it.
Choice feminism is not real feminism. As a woman, she can make whatever choice she wants to make, but that doesn't mean her choice is a feminist choice, and it damn sure doesn't mean that she's free from critique or from the consequences of it. Feminism is a socio-political movement that fights for equal rights and the ability to make choices that aren't influenced by the patriarchy and capitalism. It's about dismantling the systems that uphold those unjust hierarchies, not continuing to play into them.
Please, please, person who dresses like everyone I know, everyone who holds exactly that position, tell me how everyone else is conforming to societal pressures. She is dressed in the entire uniform of her subculture, but thinks she's Trinity. She's the one who escaped the Matrix. Everyone else is still in the system. You think that you're the only one making your own choice. Please show me a mainstream media article glorifying someone who has 10 kids. Go on, I'll wait. And she is the epitome of hashtag not like the other girls. She looks exactly like all the other girls. This argument, it reveals their Mott and Bailey maneuver. The Mott, the safe ground, is what we all hear all the time. All we want is for women to have choices. All we want is for women to have equal rights. All we want is for women to be treated like human beings. But the Bailey, the ideological core, is that our goal is to dismantle the entire system, overturn men, break down the family. And they switch depending on how much pushback they're getting. And they bully people as soon as you come close to the Mott, which is, are you against women having rights? They dangle a belief that no one's contesting and then pretend that anyone who questions that ideological position must be denying women's humanity. And there's never any need to defend the actual ideological core. Here we see the infighting. The radical feminists are now furious at the increasing number of women who choose to stay at the Mott, the safe, the palatable claim that feminism is about choice, and that any choice that you make, you can stay a feminist.
Feminism is about equality and it's about choice.
And this refusal to play the game enrages them, because without mass compliance, the larger project of dismantling the system stalls. And in this anger, they give away the entire game.
Boys feminism is anti-intellectualism. We just don't like to think about it that way because we want to think it's the boys who are all being so dumb. But we can be too. When you take something like feminism, which is a political, philosophical movement, and also an extensive subject in academia, you can literally get a doctorate in women's studies. There is a rich and extensive catalog of essays and books on feminism and various schools of thoughts when it comes to the approach of it. It is not the reduction down to this idea as if feminism is a virtue like kindness of, well, feminism is supporting what a woman chooses to do, even if that choice is to uphold the patriarchy. And if you're gonna hate a girl for doing that, have you ever considered maybe you're the misogynist? Maybe you're a girl who hates girls because you're so obsessed with men? That is not what feminism is. Not only is it reducing it down to this surface level, not even true definition, but it is also just malleable enough that you can use that definition as an excuse or a justification for any action that you or any other woman does. Anti-intellectualism is deflection from going any deeper in a conversation, and it's preventing you from opening up your own brain and learning, hey, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I didn't know as much about that topic as I thought I did, because it feels like this core thing of anti-intellectualism is this belief that everyone's opinion, regardless of the amount of knowledge that they have on a topic, should be just as equally valid.
She also reminds me of the 14-year-old teenager who's convinced that only he understands communism, and if it was only done under his rule, then everything would be peachy. This really gets to me. What women who claim they are different types of feminists, different, not radical feminists, but newer, softer versions of feminists, what they don't understand is that these terms are really only a part of the cover. They're branding exercises, and feminism will only allow it if it's a part of this Mott and Bailey strategy, only if it's being used as a rhetorical shield to protect the real goal: radical transformation, revolution, down with the men. These are not categories of belief. You can't say that you're a choice feminist and therefore you're part of the good ones. You're not a radical feminist, but you're still a feminist. No, no, no. There's strategic defenses. Nothing more. There is still only radical feminism.